Hi guys, wanted to talk to you about my latest toy, the Worx WX242. You can't get this here, definitely not in Canada. I'm pretty sure not in the States either. I had to order this from AliExpress. Link is in the description. Full disclosure, I do make a bit of small change on every time folks purchase using my links. But it doesn't cost you any extra, and I do appreciate it because it supports the channel and helps me, well, in a very small way helps me buy things, even though I paid out of pocket myself for this. So this is not sponsored. I didn't get this. I'm not being paid for this. And you'll hear my own opinion on this because I'm always transparent about how I feel about things, whether they're given to me or not. Anyway, talking about this, I'm going to talk about it in the space of two things. You know, a number of you have followed me for the work I'm doing, you know, and the customs things I do in crawlers, but I also do a lot of electronics. You know, post a picture here of my wall, which is just chock full of ESP32s and displays and whatnot. I also do a lot of 3D printing, so I apologize if you're hearing my printers going right now because I have both my Bamboo A1 and P1S going, printing a trailer, 10 scale trailer for the crawler. Anyway, to the subject. So, and this is not going to be an unboxing or a full-on comparison, but I do want to pop up the actual WX, I think it's a 240. I'll pop it up right here. The WX240, sorry if that was off camera, WX240, because it's the one you can get here, and it is different than this, and some folks may not know that this exists, but I really purposely sought out for this to get this guy because it has a few features I like better than the other one. One is that it's a manual torque control, like your you know, any other drill you have or driver you have. I like this better. The other one has a torque control. I think that you control by buttons on here, but really simply this is just your typical, you know, you turn it on and then it's really just in and out or forward or backwards, whatever you want to call it. It also has a full ring LED light, whereas the other one has, I think, just 2 LEDs. Again, I don't have it in front of me, but there's a picture there, so you'll see in the picture. So that's nice because when you're, you know, you're working in space where you're, you know, I got a lot of light here, as you can see, but when you get into working on your crawler or models and you're in there, there's shadows and whatnot, so it does help cast a bit of light on that space. So just a couple things. One of the couple things that really drove me towards this was, you know, I have this guy, my WOW stick, that I use, you know, for smaller, lighter work, but you know, it only has so much torque and it's a bit slower, but a great thing. And it's a 4mm driver. I love this because I can drive all my bits with it. So these are my MIP RC bits. So, you know, and the nice thing about the collet is that it just snaps in, and then you just pull this guy to take it out. So it's kind of like the traditional locking collet, but in this case you pull out. It's also magnetic in there. There's a magnet in there that helps hold the bit in place if it doesn't have the locking notch. So and just really quickly, you know, strength wise, sorry, that's the wrong bit. Change that. Strength wise, this thing's got tons of torque. Again, there's lots of videos out there where you can get full-on reviews of these things, but you know, lots of control. It also, you can see here, it actually, you know, I've got it set to 1 for torque, and it'll stop, but it actually comes to, it doesn't keep going and ratcheting. It comes to, you know, it has a sensor in there that actually stops from continuing to grind away at the torque setting you've got set. So in case, you know, you could strip a thread, for example, right? So that's impressive. Again, also when that's the 6mm bits. When you want to use your smaller bits, so these are the guys that, you know, I use for my WOW stick, a lot of my electronics for very, very fine, small screws. It's got an adapter. So it's got a 6mm to 4mm adapter. That's also got a magnet in it. Probably can't see it there. That snaps in, and then boom, Bob's your uncle. You've got now the ability to do all your bit types. So that is a nice addition. For what it's worth, it comes with a 6mm extension, yeah, blah, 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 USB cable, and then some other nice bits that I like. You know, I haven't yet really put these to the strength test, but you know, it looks like quality strength here. You know, Worx. I've got other Worx products like different, like a whippersnipper, a weed whacker, whatever, and I've always been happy with both the battery quality on those things and just the overall build. So this was a no-brainer. You know, I'm fairly confident this is not a fake. It is AliExpress, but I've seen there's a lot of reviews there and folks are saying, no, this is the real deal. It just happens to be a model that is not sold, again, in, I think, North America. Anyway, I'm jumping all over the place. Back to bits. Just a couple other ones in here, just like super fine. Again, you can see here, 4mm bits. There's all these cool little Torx bits that it comes with, you know, standard RC. I think that's a 2 or 3mm. Probably 3. You know, it's got them already, right? So I really like that, that it's got that. And then your standard various levels of Phillips. It's got, I think, a 4, 5, and 6mm hex, and then your Robertsons, different size. You know, I think, I don't know the numbers 1, 2, and 3 or whatever, but standard Robertsons. I think that's a red Robbie right there, even though it's orange. They're all orange, but one of them, maybe that's a standard red Robbie. Anyway, I don't have it in front of me. Some more Torx bits here. They're not security Torx if you're looking for security Torx. If you want security Torx, another product, actually this is on Amazon. I can put a link to this as well, but highly recommend these. These are, I do volunteer at a place called Repair Cafe, and we've had a number of, you know, larger things like vacuums come in where these manufacturers, I have choice words for some of them. They bury their screws deep, and then they freaking use security Torx. I don't know why for a vacuum. You know, they don't want you touching the thing, but these are people bringing in stuff that's 20 years old that they just don't want to junk. And anyway, I bought these. It was only like, I think $11 Canadian. And you know, they're very fine bits. I forget the numbers, but bigger ones too for bigger products. And they're long. That was key, right? So I could extend into the vacuum and whatnot, and I'm highly confident the torque this guy has will happily work for pretty much anything that I'm gonna do from a hobby and light build perspective. I wouldn't use this probably on an engine in a car. I highly doubt the torque would handle that. Again, you can look it up. The specs are all online, WX242. I like this. I recommend it. Again, I've got a link in the description. If you click it, I get some small change. It supports the channel. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Also, appreciate if you like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your comments. If you use something else, a different one, or if you use this and you find a problem with it, sure, let's let everybody hear about it. I'm cool with, I'm not trying to promote it per se. I am, but I'm not. But if there's a better product out there, let's hear it. I've had a few various different screwdrivers, but so far I'm pretty impressed with this guy. Anyway, have a great day.